Greetings in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, Melech of Yasharal, Kohan forever according to the order of Melchizedek, the elect one who sits at the right hand of our Lord Yahuwah. All esteem, honor, and glory unto Yahuwah Kodesh name, Barak Yahuwah Kodesh name. My name is MELEK Shelemoh. This is MELEK Shelomoh Trading, and I'm going to do a little trade setup here on the ES. So, looking at my Tradingview chart here, I'm looking at a potential reversal in the making. So I'm gonna just bring into focus yesterday's trading activity. So we basically have something kind of like a little downtrend on the 5-minute chart, right? So we had a pop-up on this day right here. I believe this was Wednesday. Yeah. So on Wednesday we had a little pop-up. We had something like a downtrend yesterday, which was Thursday, and now we have something like a little automatic rally back to the upside, right? So if this being the automatic rally, let's say right, let me just use the arrows. Right, if I'm considering this like this is the downtrend, this is the selling climax, and this is the automatic rally, then this is like a secondary test, which is kind of shallow. It didn't come right back down to this level. So this is showing buying interest, right? So if we break out from here, then we could really shoot up to the upside because we're breaking out of basically like an accumulation little setup right here, right? Now, let's see. If we're considering this as a little downtrend here, right? And this is the selling climax, and then we have like an automatic rally. We can start seeing price come back down to this level here to create a secondary stop, right? So if that's the case today, then we should start seeing something like some early taking profit here, right? So let's make this a little bigger. Right, so we start to see signs here of taking profit around 60, 85, 25, all around this area at 60, 82. We start seeing taking profit here. This is the overnight VPOC, which is around 60, 81. So we have a lot of traffic around this area right here, right? We initially started to take profit all around this area here, pushed above it a little bit, and now the selling is overwhelming the buyers, right? So let's just take a look here at what's the Camarilla levels, right? So we're breaking down Camarilla R4 right now, right? So let's see what's the central pivot levels. Where's the pivots? Where's the pivots? Right. So we don't really have any pivot levels close by. Floor pivot R1 is up here at yesterday's VPOC. You can see that white dash line right there. That's yesterday's VPOC. No, actually, it's a virgin POC from Wednesday, right? So that was VPOC from Wednesday. Still hasn't been touched since Wednesday. And that's up at floor pivot R1. So if we see buyers come back in, this could be a possible target just is to retest this virgin VPOC here. Also, floor pivot R1 is a bullish target. And then let's see. We could get buyers back around this area right here because this was a golden pivot zone with the Camarilla R3 and the central pivot in close proximity right here. So this was a resistance zone. We had a little accumulation right there. Buyers took it up. Now we could retest this area and look for buyers again. Right. So initially you see at the ETH open, we had sellers at this level, pushed us back down. came back, retested it, auction, push above it. We could be coming back down to this area right here if we're looking for buyers, right? We already see a little bit of buying coming in here. We have heavy volume, some buying wicks, so let's see how that goes. Now, this is Trader Map Pro on Bookmap. This is the liquidity levels here. We do not have much liquidity to the upside. It's stacked on the upside, but it's not much more above this level. So let's say basically 61.28 is the highest level right there of potential liquidity targets, right? So 61.28 or wait, hold on. Not 61. Yes, 61.28. All right. So 61.28 will be a bullish run even above floor pivot R4, right? So if we do go bullish to get to those liquidity levels on the offer would be starting to take profit around 61.08. Those are liquidity levels 61.08. Let's see here, another one at 61.18 and then 61.28. The first one here is 1691, right? All right, so let's go over here to, all right, this bookmap screen here. Let's see, the algos are starting to operate, so it might be a little difficult to see. Let me just tone this down a little bit so you can see more of the liquidity that I'm trying to show you here. So we have, I label these as iceberg sellers. So if you notice here, all right, so let me just put that more into perspective. Right, so from around 0610 hours, we had liquidity iceberg sellers starting to operate. That's Eastern time. So all these dark purple lines right here going across the straight lines, those dashed lines are London upper deviation bands, right? So this solid purple line right here, that's iceberg sellers executing their orders. You can see 250, 100, 1093, right? So after this one executed here, this one is still executing, still operational, it's still going across. So we have heavy selling interest up at this level right here, right? So it's around yesterday's point of control, market profile point of control. It's around central pivot for the week, the weekly central pivot, and yesterday's IB high, right? This is also around value area high from yesterday. So it's a level of interest that I marked out, iceberg sellers, to keep that in mind. So if we do get buyers coming back up, maybe I want to take something like a black sun strategy around this area. So I have to, I'm just labeling it to keep this in mind here, right? We already see we got the sellers coming in. We have high volume. We have the high volume exhaustion, right? So you see price started to move down from here with the heavy volume. And then on the break, we have heavy volume sellers. This is coming back to yesterday's VPOC on both Tradingview and on Bookmap, right? So they're slightly different. And this is the weekly VPOC so far, right? It's at 60.73. All right, so basically looking at Camaria R3 at the open, see if we get a bounce off of this level. I'm not willing to really take a short at Camaria R3 because it's not really in line with my setup for taking shorts at like more of a Well, actually, I haven't had these open VWAP anchored VWAP at the open, which is going to be at 9:30. So maybe I get a setup here at Camarilla R3 with some upper deviations to get a short here at Camarilla R3 if it starts breaking down and retest, right? As of now, these are lower deviations from London. You see, I'm highlighting it right there. Right, that's -2. This is -3. So that's lower deviations. I don't really like to short at lower deviations unless I'm taking kind of like a 360 fire strategy setup. And this isn't really that kind of setup right now. So I'm gonna wait for the open and see if we get something like a Black Sun strategy around Camarilla R3. And also you can see the central pivot level. So this is a golden pivot resistance zone. Let's see if we get buyers here as well at some of these lower deviations here. We start getting accumulation and I could take something like a bowling green strategy off of London's VWAP and the ETH VWAP, which is the red line. Let me bring that into perspective. So that's -1 and that's -2, right? So yeah, that's basically my setups right there. And you all trade safe and stay blessed.